Welcome back, guys. Another day, working on another actually working on the same Mazda. But I got the injector seals changed on it. It sounds way better and it runs way better, but it still rides like absolute garbage. So it's time to dive into the suspension. It was shaking really bad on the steering wheel while braking, so it might just be the brakes, but I have quite a bit of diagnosing experience and I believe it's something like a ball joint. I went ahead and ordered all the suspension pieces. These are the front control arms, and I believe it's one of these ball joints that is bad. But if I'm doing all those, I might as well do the upper control arms since they have the upper ball joints in them. And then I got sway bar links. And really this all started because I wanted adjustable control arms in the rear. The rear alignment's off because the stock control arm's non-adjustable. And with it being lowered, it cambered it in and it's just been chewing up tires. With these adjustable arms, I should be able to zero the camber out, so I stopped wasting money on tires. As you may have noticed from the last video, I have kind of a black eye. I was down in Texas picking up a car with my tow dolly and I needed to disconnect the drive shaft. Unfortunately, when I pried it off, it landed on my face. Ugh. My good friends who own this shop are out of town, so I have a lift at my disposal today. First thing I'm gonna do is rack this thing and get the brakes to the brake shop. People say not to leave the brake hanging like that. I say if you're I hate these stupid screws. Looks like we're stealing the Crown Vic. So I made it over here at like 4:45 and the boys say they're gonna do it. Thanks to my homies at Portillo's, we're gonna have straight rotors again. Good as new. I love me some Chick-fil-A. Unfortunately, I forgot the pickle fork, so I have no way to pop the ball joints. Good thing I got All Reliable. At least it's a nice night. When the brake rotors were being machined, we noticed that they were wearing weird as far as they were thinner on the outside. I think what's going on is the wheel bearings are probably bad and letting the hub move. So I went ahead and ran to AutoZone and got some wheel bearings. Straight out of China, but they're brand new. Now I'm gonna continue ripping apart the front suspension, get the upper control arm out, and that ball joint looks like it's seen better days. Get all the lower arms off and go ahead and change the wheel bearing. I want to know who in the designed this. You can't pull the bolt. Stupid! I'm going to go ahead and just unbolt this bracket and see if I can't sag the whole subframe. I'm a little scared, not gonna lie. Well, it's almost enough to get the bolt out, but not quite. I'm gonna drop the front subframe bolts just a little bit and see if I can get it that extra ½ an inch. Plenty of access now. It's stuck. Got to get the upper and the upright off now. And of course the bolts are gonna interfere with the shock. So I got to pull the shock out of here. That's one way to get it off. And there's the old suspension right there. The wheel bearing doesn't sound great, and there's a little slop, but I'm not sure how much is allowable once that CV is disconnected. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and disassemble the second side. There you have it, all the suspension disconnected. And I did find the root cause of my vibration. When I pulled this wheel bearing, it just fell in half. Didn't even have to press it apart. So it was definitely a good call to grab the wheel bearings this morning. Retainer. Now I need to get something and press the bearing out that way. There's the trashed wheel bearing. Make sure to put some anti-seize on it so the bearing slides in easier. Now you don't actually need very much, and you just need to put it at the entrance, and it will spread as the bearing pushes in. Now to prep the hub. Once you get it to crack like that, it will just come off with the screwdriver. Or two. And the nicks in the hub really don't matter. It's not gonna affect how it functions at all. That being said, I do recommend buying the hubs and the wheel bearings as a unit when you purchase them. I should have ordered them with the whole front end rebuild, but I didn't foresee doing them. And then when the brakes were machining weird, I thought, might be a good idea to do wheel bearings. Hindsight's a bitch, but I should have planned ahead a little better for this. It always sucks when you forget the retainer ring before pressing in the hub. Generally, the hub should fit tighter than this. This one just slides through the first half. So I think the hub's bad, but it's what I got right now, so it's going back together, and odds are I'm gonna have to redo this side at some point. Whatever. So there's the new wheel bearing, but look at how the inner race isn't tight on it. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get the second wheel bearing done so I can go ahead and get to installing some of this new suspension. If you're ever wondering why shops charge so much to press in wheel bearings, that's why. It's not an easy job, but that one sounds good now. Now we're finally ready to put the rest of the suspension back together. The bad wheel bearings took a major toll on the front brake pads and we're wearing them very unevenly. So I gotta make a trip to the parts store and see if I can get new brake pads. Here we are, but it's Saturday, so I missed them. So you know what that means? It's time to get in the zone. Auto zone. They didn't have them in stock, so the sideways pads are going back on. And I also called the old owner of the car and he confirmed that he did the front right wheel bearing when he worked at Firestone. So that hub and spindle are bad. It's new for now, but I'll get another one on order. I just need to get the sleeves off these control arms. And somebody has cut this one, probably whoever worked on it at Firestone. Those jokers don't actually know how to work on cars at Firestone, come on. And we are ready to assemble. Let's get right into that. You don't want to torque any bushings till it's at ride height because you don't want to stress the bushings. So once it's at ride height, everything gets torqued. To spec. Before you call me a shitty mechanic for torquing the CV like that, tell me whether the whole wheel bearing, the outer race, is supposed to rock in the upright like that and spin like that. So yeah, I didn't realize that till I was too deep in it. the knuckles are toast. It needs new knuckles. So it's going back together for now, but I'm ordering new knuckles. I'm all done with the front end. Everything's back together. The last step is to lower the car onto its own weight, and then I can torque all the control arms. I may have raised the subframe a little too soon there. That was so involved. And I haven't even done the rear. Here's all the junk from the front. So half the battle is complete. I'm tired. This has been a long job. And I'm gonna do the rear. I'm gonna use the magic of editing and take off those back tires and put on those front tires. And the arms are wrong. So these must be for a Mazda 6, and the Speed 6 must have a different rear arm. And just like that, I'm finished with the rear. And when I say I'm finished, I mean everything went wrong. Wrong. These I couldn't get out because the shocks were in the way. Job went to total shit, so I put it back together. And we're calling it good with the front end rebuild. I'm gonna go see how it rides now. I know the knuckles are bad, so the wheel bearings are gonna chew themselves up, but it should ride a little better. That's gonna be it for the video, guys. I really hate working on this car. I now understand why I only work on Subarus now. This sucked, it was a pain. Press-in wheel bearings versus bolt-in wheel bearings, rust, bad knuckles, but the majority of the front end is new. I'll go ahead and get the right control arms on the way, and I'll do those when I do the rear shocks on the car as well, because if the rear shocks have to come out, they're getting replaced. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I just went on a test drive. The car rides so much better. Huge improvement. Still needs a little work. The alignment was off pretty bad, so I came and eyeballed it. It looks way closer. I really should have an alignment done, but I'm a 240 owner. We're used to driving with our shit all f***ed up. Night and day better.